How's it going? It's your boy Ouija here. We're going to be going off on our very first recorded video. What I'm going to be doing here is detailing one of my favorite bands, Deftones. Listen to their albums in my personal order that I recommend. Ones that I would, if you're a fan and want a more deep dive or like a certain kind of sound that maybe I'm personally not into, go more in depth about that. This is a recommendation from my friend Joy. So shout out to you, Joy. Originally, I was gonna do this on like text, and figured why not? Let's do a video on it. Be a good way to get this ball rolling. If I would be glad to review more albums in the future, either listening to them fully, reviewing a full album with y'all, or doing a tier list like this here. We're going to be going through them in chronological order. I'll pull up the songs on Spotify, kind of like listen through them, show you the ones that are really sticking with me and whatnot. Yeah, without further ado, let's talk Deftones. And if you haven't messed with Deftones before, they're a fantastic new metal, kind of like alternative band. Started in the 90s. They were one of the pioneers of the new metal era for like the Southwest Coast, California style. Famous with their Adrenaline albums, moving on to more djenty style, almost ethereal sounds throughout their career. They really capture as a band what it's like to show personal growth, show perseverance, and how to get through hard times when the worst keeps getting worse. And it's an inspiring story, but also a sad tale. So we're going to start this off. We got our boy Adrenaline here. Adrenaline, fantastic. It's a great introduction to what new metal was back in the 90s. If I remember right, this album came out in 1994, a few years before I was born. Fortunately, I missed out. But it was all over for kind of like that skater rock era, that angst that you feel like this is like high schoolers who came together that didn't give a fuck about anything. They just wanted to drink, they wanted to smoke, skate, have fun. They wanted to be as wild as possible. And you can definitely feel that in Adrenaline. You get this sense of a garage kick to it. It's very bare bones to its core, but in a good way. Like everything you'd expect from the 90s, kind of like garage band style. So, of course, Bored, what we start off with, you get a lot of the long, drawn-out drop guitar, and you get a lot of Chino Moreno doing his signature screamings at certain parts. You get that a lot in this album. But going to the beginning of the song, you hear the chugs, then the letting it ring, repeating, and it just sounds so good in the heart. Then you get this voice that comes up. It's like a whisper almost in the back of your head while you're hearing these chugs on the side. And then everything just crashes together in this beautiful melody of angst, I like to call it. It should be around here. Now they let the guitar fill instead of just having that one side be it. Now it's going to be filling both sides, and it lets you get sucked in to what the song is. There's two reasons why this is one of the most popular off the album. One, it's the first one that people are going to pick. second, it's a really fucking great song. This one here, Weird 7 Words. Yeah, makes sense why this is also their most popular. This one, you really feel the don't give a fuck attitude. It has that, not exactly like a rap sense, but like the new metal of blending genres. It's metal, but it's also something else. It doesn't have to be rap, it could be many different things. And I wouldn't say this is in the whisper sense either. This is more like a build-up, like not like they're talking down to you, but it's like they're talking with you in a negative sense until it gets that angst. And you can just like imagine, like, if you're here listening to this live, there's not a single set of legs that are not jumping to this song. It hits every mark that I love about it. Next one we're going to go to is Engine Number 9. This one's another, I want to say this one had a music video. That was pretty good. But it also brings that garage sense right back in. You get a really good chorus with this one. The progressions always slap. And the drums in it, I fucking love the drums in this. But that's because I love drums in any song. That's what I listen to first. And I believe this one's more of the rap style. Yeah. So this is a great introduction if you want that angsty new metal style, similar to Korn, similar to Limp Bizkit. That's where you're gonna get this kind of stuff. The stuff that just says, fuck you society, fuck you mom and dad, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna stay up past 10 p.m. on a school night. You can't tell me what to do. I'm gonna wear ripped jeans and smoke cigarettes. Whatever they did in the 90s, I don't know, I wasn't there. So, Adrenaline to me, it's definitely an A tier. I'm not sure if it's S tier, unfortunately. That one, but an A tier, like a high A, I would definitely give that. This is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but for those who are into this, it's really going to be a full plate. And that's what I love about it. Like, you're not skimping out on the veggies on this album. You're getting everything. You're getting the potatoes, you're getting the meat, you're getting the veggies, you're getting the coleslaw, you're getting the pumpkin pie even on the side. Everything that you could want in a alternative new metal album is on this one here. So, what we got next? It's definitely not Ohms. Around the Fur. Okay, so Around the Fur, this was actually my first experience with Deftones. I remember my brother got me this album here, and you know, I was a kid, I was like, oh, this is cool art. It's just a chick nearly naked. I was a young kid. Anyways, so this one, it continues with that angsty sound, but now they know they got something. They're kind of balling in what worked on Adrenaline and just going full in with that while adding their own creative flair to it. This one, let's go off with the songs first. We're going to go with the songs first before I actually put it in the right placement. My Own Summer, Shove It. This is an iconic song. Any person who knows Deftones should check out this song. So influential from what the mid-90s was, inspiring plenty of acts that came afterwards, from the likes of The Word Alive. They referenced this. This song here, I believe, was one of the big breakthroughs on MTV as well, which really boosted their popularity. Got them to be more seen than just, oh, it's just a SoCal band making, you know, a decent record. This one showed like, oh shit, these guys, they mean fucking business. But you can see like the whispered voice, it's now more, what do you call it? It's got more filters on it to sound clearer. It's still that whisper, it's still alternative, but it sounds good now. It doesn't sound as garage band. Like, it sounds like, oh shit, these guys, they got an actual studio. They got actual equipment. You can hear that all around. The way the drums transition, the way the guitar and the bass work well with each other instead of working almost against each other on adrenaline, which you'd expect from garage style. This, you can kind of hear Gino's gonna start feeling like, oh, I can actually sing on some of these parts too. I don't have to just be aggressive and kind of like scream or do kind of like that rap rock style. So My Own Summer, great feel. Mascara was one I personally loved a lot. This intro, it just, when I was a kid, I had this on like this, I think I was at my dad's at the time, and we had this little speaker that you could put a CD in, and they all went to work, and it was just me at the house, and I remember putting this in, and the song would come on, and I'd just like lean back and kind of just sit there and imagine I'm in a movie almost, like something like, I don't know, like Kill Bill almost, something actiony. This makes me feel like I'm leading up to one of those big fights. I'm the big bad. Like, especially when the chorus kicks in, that's when it feels like shit's actually starting to go down. Should be perfect. Yeah. Everything kicks in at the same time. I could just see myself just walking down in slow motion towards whoever the protagonist is. About to get my ass whooped. Oh. Around the Fur, always a classic. Be Quiet and Drive, another great one within the music video. This one also helped them get out there. It's a softer-ish classic. When I was learning guitar, this was either the second or the third song I learned by them, where I was more impressed by the technicality of how they played. It isn't just drop chords and you're just slightly moving your hand around. Like, they actually had technique in what they were doing, and it was really impressive to me. Plus, the song itself, it's very somber, not exactly sad, but just, you can sense that there's something not right in it. It's meant to make you feel uneasy. It's meant to make you feel like you want to escape. And that's exactly what this song portrays, or at least how I interpret it. And it's one of those car ride songs. Like, if it's on, you blast it all the way up and you're just going. You don't have no destination. All you have is your journey. And one of my favorite things that I love from the 90s, so prominent in the 90s, you see this song here, 37 minutes. How are you gonna mess with a 37-minute song? The initial song, it's, you know, not bad. it's still there. But of course, this long time, there's a lot of silence. And that's with, back then on CD, cassette, you'd think the album's over. And like, you wouldn't even think anything of it. You wouldn't take the CD out. You're like, all right, CD's over. And you leave your CD player on and it's still going. And then suddenly you reach this moment where it just catches you off guard. It's like a whole nother song out of nowhere. So I was a huge fan of this. The secret songs in the 90s. So they did this. We had Tool that did that. We had Pearl Jam who loved to do that. Queens of the Stone Age loved to do that. Some of my favorite bands all love to do this silly secret song kind of thing. So, Around the Fur. I will say personally, like, I have a good attachment to it. And that's just because it was my first one. However, I would not rank it above Adrenaline. Adrenaline, I still think, if you're going to listen to aggressive Deftones, that's the album. But if you want more of a good thing, then I'd move on to Around the Fur. Because you're getting more of the good stuff. It's not as good. It's more... what do you call it? What is the word for... Why am I blanking on this? Processed. There we go. It's more processed. It's less garagey. It's not as aggressive. It's Chino figuring out, oh shit, I can actually sing. Maybe I should give this a shot. And I don't know if I'd give it a B tier, because it is still good, but I think for now I'm just going to place it in B tier. We'll see where it goes from here. Also, shout out to whoever made this list. They haven't updated with Ohms, which is the latest album from Deftones at the time of this recording. And I agree with them. D, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's still good. All these albums, I'd say, are really good. They're amazing musicians and amazing writers. So I wouldn't skip out on any of these albums. This is just if I had to rate them in any order. So that was Around the Fur. What we got next? After Around the Fur, White Pony. The iconic. When anyone sees this pony, they either think Deftones. I'm trying to remember the shirt, the clothing brand that also does that. I think they're prominent with golfers or something like that. But White Pony, this was their smartest blend that they've done. You had mixes of the ethereal, you had mixes of the rap rock, you had mixes of the aggressive style. So songs like, I believe this one had Command. No, it was Elite. Elite was the one that on this. So, Back to School, that's the iconic one from this one. That's where you get back to the, I don't give a fuck, mom, I'm gonna stay up past 10. With that rap rock style. Like, if you thought you were cool in school, this is gonna be what you're gonna be blasting through your speakers. Pulling up with like a boom box, going down the halls, blasting this shit, thinking you're the hottest. But unfortunately, at this time of recording, it's 2000. Yeah, and I got out of high school, I think, in like 88, I think I graduated or something like that. So it feels like that, the picture of How Do You Do, Fellow Kids, that just shows the Steve Buscemi in like the kids' clothes and the skateboard. That's what this kind of feels like to me in a way, but it's still fun. It's still a good song. Like, Digital Bath, one of the more softer songs. This one I think was this one was the second song I learned. I know the first one which was, yeah, it's on the same one here. This one, unfortunately, is really easy to play, unfortunately, and that's why I learned it so quick. Playing in their D drop C, so they're really, really low drop guitars, which, bless them. I love that. I love D drop C. It's my favorite to play in. I love these, just the chord progressions they have here. It just, as I said, it feels that ethereal that they're trying to hit. This one is safe for advertisers. This one's safe for MTV. They're not having to like swear anything out. This is like, oh, I could possibly show my mother or father. Yeah, you know what? My dad might like this. I might show my dad, who really loves Guns N' Roses and like bands like that. Like, they might be like, oh, this is not bad. So that's where digital that's why it's so popular as well. But you still don't lose the aggressiveness, like an Elite. You got the screams, you got the aggressiveness, the punk. They remember their roots in this song, and that's what I fucking love. They don't shy away from that. They know, like, we want to appeal to this demographic, and this demographic. I fucking love this one. Street Carp, it's a silly song, but it gets stuck in my head so many times. Like the main chorus of saying the address and yeah, where is it? This just gets stuck in my head for no reason. It just feels like they're just so high and they can't even know what they're talking about. And right back to it. Teenager. This is the classic of the their more somber songs. You're gonna hear more songs like this in later years, around like the 2010s and further. You might hear some in their 2006 album. You can kind of hear it's all processed through. They got the grain hidden up as high as they can get. It's one that's really fun on acoustic guitar as well. This is what you'd bust out if you're gonna like pull out your guitar and be at a college party, sitting on the top of your truck, playing to a few girls that are nearby, trying to impress them. Knife Party. When I first heard this, I was blown away by it, because like I was like, oh man, this is a great song. The guitar hits, the drums are right in your face. It had lyrics and a chorus that was so fun. And you can just hear how clean the vocals are in this. Like, he doesn't have that grain in his voice. You can hear every little bit of dialect, every movement of the mouth you can hear. But what threw me away was like, there's kind of like this bridge where everything just stops. Where is it? And then you get this weird kind of vocals that turns into screaming, and that mixed with the chorus, it makes this weird blend that all works together so well. And this again gets to that like ethereal, like you're floating in space kind of thing. Or like if you're just really high listening to this, you're just drowned out. In your own world in this. It's like, you don't know how to feel. You have this beautiful voice mixed with the screaming. These guitars that are feeling ethereal. Mixed with drums that are keeping you like aware of what's happening. And then here with the chorus, how they kind of blend together. Oh, Night Party, it's a good one for me. Passenger, I love. It was a song that, I don't know if it was their first crossover song, but it was the first that I heard that had them crossing over with another singer. With this one, if I remember right, it's with Maynard James Keenan of Tool, where they kind of do this back and forth. I say a line, you say a line. I say a line, you say a line. We keep going this back and forth. And I wish I could have seen it live once, but any other time I've seen videos of Passenger live, it's with Hayley Williams of Paramore, or it's with this other singer that happens to be around. And you can hear it's like these two entities talking. So yeah, it's a really good song. Always hits through. Here's Maynard again. And this was probably right when he was starting A Perfect Circle, or just about. Again, would have loved to see this live one time of them two together. Change in the House of the Flies. This is the iconic Deftones song. This is the one that everybody and their mother knows. If you pull up Deftones, it's probably like their top song, because this was all over. This was in movies. This was in commercials at the time. All over MTV. You couldn't escape it on the radio. What a time for music, right? So, this actually was the first song I learned to play by Deftones on guitar, because of how much I fucking adore this song. It's so good. Love the whispers that lead into this fun chorus. It's all about change. Well, obviously change. It's all about evolving. It's about seeing someone that you thought you knew, and then they just start changing as soon as you get to know them more and more. Into something you don't even recognize anymore. And again, this was safe. It didn't really have any cursing lyrics that I remember. Probably wouldn't show this to your mother, but your father might like it. Your uncle, your drunk uncle, might really like it. Pink Maggot, fun. It's a lot of that etherealness. 7.5 minutes of it. And what it does is it actually calls back to Back to School Mini Maggot. Because as you're going through this ethereal, where the voice has this, I think it's like a flanger, where it's like constantly going back and forth in your ears to different sides. And the guitar kind of does the same thing. It's meant to make you feel like if you're on a full surround sound, your head is spinning right now. Which, actually, now that I'm wearing headphones and doing this, it's exactly what it feels like. Okay, that's rad. Yeah, there's the tempo. So it's a lot of this. Boom! We got the band again. Here they are doing the main lyrics, the main chorus of Back to School Mini Maggot. And that's what I love about it. It's a full send all the way around. You end it with that heartbeat. and then it replays. So it's one of those that you can have on replay and it will just keep cycling through beautifully. Love when albums do this. White Pony. If you're getting started in Deftones, this is reaching S tier. This is going to be one of the albums I'm going to recommend where you can figure out what you like about Deftones. There's going to be a song for everybody in this. You're going to have that ethereal, you're going to have that angst, you're going to have the rap rock, the new metal alternative. You're going to have something that fits for just about everybody who's interested in this kind of music kind of thing. So that's going to be an S tier for White Pony. Let's see. Up next, Deftones self-titled. Unfortunately, not every album is going to be as big of a hit. We've had 3 fantastic albums back to back to back. There's going to be one moment where things kind of slip. You try something different and it just doesn't work out. Or maybe it just wasn't the time yet. And that's what we're going to be getting with this self-titled record. Doesn't mean that there's not good songs on it, but it just means it's much more niche and not as fleshed out as other ones are going to be. So Minerva, it's one of the top picks. Come on, there we go. Here we get that ethereal moment again. We get Chino kind of doing his elongated notes where he's figuring out he can actually sing. And it's like, it's gorgeous. But unfortunately not every song on this album is like this. The chorus is fun too. Downside is it doesn't really do much past that. When Girls Telephone Boys, it's kind of like a silly, I wouldn't say it's a throwaway song, but it's one that not a lot of people listen to, unfortunately. I guess I have a soft spot for this kind of style. But I just like his aggressiveness in his vocals much more. Plus, listen to his fucking drums. It's fucking so good. Bloody Kate, another great song off this album. Oh, I didn't know how to music video. That's news to me. Those, if they're not exactly triplets, because they're like hammer offs and pull-on kind of style. But it's like one of those that, like, you hear this, your body's fucking moving. If you're at one of their shows and they pull this out, Lord knows you're breaking a leg at that show. Anniversary of an interesting event, I believe, was kind of like one of their, not interlude songs, but like there wasn't enough to it. Which again, if this is your style, it's perfect. But it is like that throughout the whole song. Hexagram's also a great album, or great song. But unfortunately this one, I don't think it ranks up to the rest in terms of what it's offering. This one I think is going to be, in my opinion, D tier. If you're looking for kind of like something different, not a lot of people listen to, this is going to be the one to go to, the Deftones self-titled record. Alright, oops. Showed you a little bit of how the magic works. My bad. Oh, that's the single. B-sides and rarities, it's mostly covers and live renditions. I'm not exactly going to count it on this one. But here we got Saturday Night Wrist. Which, when was the exact? Huh. Coincides. Okay. Yes. Saturday Night Risks. Great fucking album. This one, we're gonna delve much more into that etherealness that Deftones are gonna be known for here in future years, and what's really gonna help them boost their career. So, Hole in the Earth, great opener. Where you got these chords in the beginning played way up on top. It just kicks you, you're having fun, like it's bringing you side to side, and then it has a break. It's like, oh, I should be swaying to this. I should be stoned and just kind of like figuring out what's going on. But that guitar here, it's so fun to play. So, if you wanted an album to learn Deftones songs on and you prefer more technical rather than just random drop slop, this is going to be the album I would definitely recommend. It has a lot of good hits. This one here, Love Beware. We get that ethereal, we get that almost like an echo where Chino's going to mess with for albums to come. He figures out that echoes are his favorite thing to have. And it fits into, God, I'm going to use ethereal so many times, but that's like the best way I can explain it. Like you're floating through space, you're tripping on shrooms, and you're having the best experience of your life. Cherry Waves, actually the best song on this album. This is a song that you can put on for just about anybody and they'd have a good time. It's safe to play for your parents, it's safe to play for your teacher, safe to sing for your high school talent show. But I love this vocal thing they mess with. It's like, it stops like when you're hitting the throat. Something about it, I just love it. But it really fits that, like, zooming through space with, like, high as fuck, your eyes are closed, your ear pods are in, you're in new worlds. And that's what they do so fucking good. As mentioned, they had a cover before, or not a cover, but they had a crossover. The second crossover they did is with one of my favorite singers, Serj Tankian. You get this super fun song. This one, I believe, does have a music video as well. Where it's just, you know, bouncy, good time. Messing with the hi-hats on the drums more. You got a good beat going on. It's not too simplistic, but it's not too in your face. It's a good mess of the kick and the snare respond to each other instead of working with each other. So when one hits, the other goes, and vice versa. So this one's nice until you get to, where is it? Not here. Here we go. We got Serj here coming in for not the most lyrical experience, but the way he sings it with Deftones, phenomenal. It fits every aspect. It's something I would love to hear from Serj, is something more this style. He has just the voice for it, and that's what makes this, honestly, my second favorite Chino Moreno / Deftones crossover. My first one is going to be when they crossed over with Dance Gavin Dance, and even better with my favorite singer of Dance Gavin Dance, Chris Travis. Rats vs. Rats. Fucking love this one. We got a little more of that aggressiveness that, again, they don't shy away from. They gotta have one on each album. This actually feels, now that I hear it again, much more like their later works. Pink Cell Phone, this is a fun one. It's not meant to be taken serious. You got this mysterious voice that's in the back talking about belief in the one true power. And then in comes Chino, Can't Stop the Sound, and they build the song off this kind of like beat. And it's not what you'd expect from Deftones. And I think that's what I loved about it. It's like this weird vibe, but like it's almost uneasy when you listen to it. But sickness unto and from this sickness sprang the belief in the one true power. You get this, but it has a secret ending, which fucking, it's really weird. But I fucking love that it has it, and I'm glad they kept it. You get the silence, and you're like, oh, the song's over. On to the next one. Until you get hit with this. Greasy, filthy hand jobs. You're just like, what the fuck are they talking about now? We just had this dope-ass song, and now they're talking about this sick shit. But yeah, it's one of the fun songs that I really fucking love. King Dracula, it's the classic. It's everything in one. You get a little bit of the aggressiveness. You get the etherealness. You get the compressed. What do you call it? Where everything feels like it's. I just used the word earlier. It's not garage style anymore. It's processed. There we go. It's processed. This is another one of those safe ones that you can put on for just about anybody. Put it on at a party and people are gonna have a good time. And of course, a cover, which I know is my friend Joy's favorite thing to hear. But honestly, I think they did a really good job on this. My friend Tyler would like to call this the Transformers song. I think it was on Transformers 1. Bumblebee played it for the two main characters. You still have that iconic layering and echo in Chino Moreno's vocals for this, while it's still trying to be Drive by, who was the person that made the Drive? Is it the Cars? I don't remember who originally did it. My bad. But it was a pretty good cover. But I'm also a fan of covers that are more unique and you can hear the band's influence and they're not just copying it one by one to try to be what they're covering. They're putting their own kick into it, their own flavor. So it's like, sure, you got ramen here, but then you have dollar store ramen over here, and they're like, yeah, we're dollar store ramen, but we're dollar store ramen, but we added beef and chicken instead of just beef. Saturday Night Wrist, great album. I'm gonna have it up here I'm going to have it actually in front of around the fur. If you're wanting more of the, ethereal experience, that's going to be what you're going for. However, we're going to reach sad territory. Because that means next album, Diamond Eyes, should be the first one after their bassist got into a car accident and left them in a coma for 5 years. So that was around 2008, and that should be when this album comes out, because it was in fall 2008 that the accident happened. Oh, this just says 2008. Doesn't have. Huh. Yeah. G Chang, fantastic bass player. One of the sweetest people I've seen in interviews when I was looking into Deftones back in the day. Because I was really into researching bands when I was going through high school and college. And I remember like hearing about this on the news, and I think I fell off Deftones for a while because I was going through the phase of, oh, I'm only listening to like screamo music and being that guy, and I fell off of this kind of alt rock, alt new metal style for a bit. Still listen to the classics, but I wasn't delving into these new albums at the time. Wish I was, because I missed out. Anyways, yeah. So I remember seeing that there's this kind of like a song for Xi Shang going out, and it had members from Korn into it, and I believe members of Limp Bizkit, all these iconic bands from the 90s, 2000s that have toured with Deftones, know who Chi is, and at the time, Deftones were actually writing an album during this same time, and it was going to be called Eros, I believe. They were quoting it as to be one of their most aggressive and ambitious albums yet. And that was, all that news was before the accident. And then the accident happened, and they're all going through this grief where they're seeing their best friend, that they've been with for 20 years in a band, suddenly be unresponsive and in a coma. And it changed them. Like, it really hit them to a core. And so that Eros album, they decided, we're not going to release this album. It may see the day of light in the future, but this is not who we are anymore. And so they backlogged it. But I guess that comes after this. I don't know, I was giving a lot of history for a moment for something that happens after this album. This one, I'm going to be a bit biased on. This is my favorite Deftones album. This one, I will always recommend. If you're going to be going to a Deftones album to try out, Diamond Eyes, right up there. So, start off with the title track. There we go, we got the build up. Then it just slams you. And you're in. Just, holy shit, what a jump. And like, sometimes you're gonna be hearing Chino in the background and almost like whispering in response to his own lyrics, which I fucking love. But the way you're hearing not only just the guitars, the bass, the drums, you got the keyboardist in the background, which you can kind of hear doing these, what do you call it, like the backwards notes all the way around. but then you get this aggressiveness that pulls you in and it pushes you back. I love it. I love that feeling so much. So this one of my favorite songs off this album. Command Control. It's one of the more aggressive songs where it feels like, you know, this shit could be on a drill. Maybe even around the third. But this was a fantastic callback to what they were before. You just had that angst. And then you got the chorus, which fits more to what this album is. Kind of bring you back like, this is where we're at now. But here's a little what we're messing with and like, if we still did this kind of thing. You've seen The Butcher? One of my favorite intros. Just the palm mutes on these and just hearing how low it is. Like if you heard this live, like you're gonna feel each strum in your chest. I love that. I miss that feeling so much. Not only that, it's just a fantastic fucking song. Especially here when the rest of the band comes in. The snare on that drum, crisp, clear, processed through beautifully. You can hear the crashes getting hit. You can hear the ride being strung along. You can, when you're listening to this with headphones, it's like you can hear where the drum is placed exactly as they hit it. So if you had all the pieces, you could create what they used to create this song. I fucking love that. CD School's alright. It's not my favorite, but I could see why people would like it. We get back to kind of like that more clear vibe with Deftones, what they're going to be in the future. See that crisp, clean vocals back in. Unfortunately, the guitar's not the most interesting. The drums are, but for people who really like the feel of songs and the vocals, that's exactly why this one's going to be as popular as it is. Rocket Skates, I love. This is such an aggressive, fun, moshing song to me. Like, I remember when I first saw Deftones for the first time with Rise Against. When this song came on, the whole crowd was just jumping as much as possible, and I was able to physically see like our energy inspired Chino to get more aggressive on his performance too. He was going across the stage. He was really shaking his head with us, trying to work up a sweat on that stage, just as we were working a sweat up down in the pit. But the way this messes with those palm mutes, you get the palm mutes chugs and these pull-offs. So good. And they had these signs in the back that for the guns, razors, knives, each time he screamed that lyric, those would light up. So the one that said guns would light up, then the razors would light up, then the knives would light up. It was a great experience. Sex Tape. This is for the horny people. This one you see on a lot of playlists because it's somber. They see, oh, Sex Tape, it's gonna be this kinky ass song. It's not. It's not. But it is soft. It's slow. It's, if you're gonna need like a Deftones song to go to sleep to, this is definitely what I put in. This, I'd fall asleep to this every day if I could, or if I needed to. I'd probably get sick of it very fast. But you can hear why this would be a lot of people's favorite. And lastly, I'm going to end off with Risk, because that's another fun classic, where it has almost that aggressiveness to it, and that unease in how the drums work with the guitar in this. It leaves space that you feel like should be filled by something. It's almost like you're in a triangle. You have the guitar here, you have the vocals here, and the drums here, and instead of working together, they're kind of like playing off of each other. They keep going in this triangle. But it's another banger. So Diamond Eyes, way up there. Way up there. In fact, way up there. But again, I'm biased. But I think that is one of the safest Deftones albums you can recommend to someone, especially if they're like, oh, I'm not too into like aggressive music, or I listen to everything. That's going to be the one to go to. But also, if you're going on a car ride and you want a great album to go with, this is the one for you. In my opinion, this is the one Deftones album I would say has absolutely no skips. Not one skip. And that's going to bring us to our next album. Oops. Which should be not the singles, not the covers. Koi no Yoken. Yeah, this album, unfortunately, comes out the same, or no, a year before. Was it 2012 or 2013? I believe this album was before the unfortunate death of Chi Chang, their friend that was in the coma. And you can really hear from Diamond Eyes to Koi no Yokan this shift in their sound, where they're maturing in what they want to be. They have it down to a science on. This is what we want Deftones to be moving forward. Swerve City, it's a fun one. It does kind of call back to the classics in the way it has that swinging guitar and drums feel. This one, I remember when it came out, I was still in high school at the time. It was during my sophomore year, I think, in high school. And I was like kind of sad it wasn't as aggressive as the other ones. And I was at the time like, oh, I can't like this album at all. It's not like, you know, Adrenaline. It's not like Around the Fur, the stuff that got me into Deftones in the first place. Excuse me. However, there was one song that, even though I wasn't a fan of the album when it came out, Entombed still captured my heart. So I remember trying to learn this on guitar way back in the day. Unfortunately, I forgot how to play it. But it was just... there's a sadness to the song that I couldn't describe, but I related to. And I just got so attached to just this song off the whole album. It was Entombed. But I was just so like entranced with this. I would listen to it just about every day on the bus ride back from school, because it was always on my lists. You get that feeling of just sadness with this. I don't know if it's the chord progressions mixed with how he's singing. It's like you can hear it in his voice, like something's not right with him. And I think I just caught onto that and latched onto it. Unfortunately, I don't have the most memories of this one. Rosemary, I remember being a great one. Kind of have that low, but that's gonna keep picking up kind of thing. Until everything comes together again. Then the song really starts to be what it is. Where is it? Great song. What else? I don't remember Leathers that much. I do remember Tempest, liking Tempest. And this might be a new thing, but I don't think past me in 2012 would have liked this. I would have found it too soft for my taste. But now, if I heard this, I'd just be snap my finger, jamming along to this. So if you're wanting a more, like, not exactly a softer Deftones, but more matured, processed, we got their guitarists going through all these different guitar pedals and having backup guitars to play, either one being low as you can hear, the other one playing way up high, doing all these unique chords. This will be the album for you. Unfortunately for me, I'm gonna keep it around a C tier. Back then I would have placed it far D, but it has grown on me sometimes since, and especially relating this album with a lot of the pain that they as a band were going through. And that's where I was mentioning earlier, like, Deftones is a great story for change and maturing and getting over when the worst thing is getting even worse. When their best friend is not recovering, do they still continue as Deftones? Because before they had someone filling in while she was still in the hospital. Just how are we going to move forward from this? Which most bands go through in this style, like Avenged Sevenfold when they lost Jimmy, or even Alice in Chains when they lost Lane. It's never an easy thing. And yeah, if you get into the history of Deftones, that's where I think you can really appreciate this album. But as it stands as itself, as a listening experience, probably, if anything, like a low B to a high C. I'll just, you know what, I'll keep it actually here. Up next, we're going to talk about gore. This one I followed very closely when it was coming out, and this was I believe when I saw Deftones, this was the album that they were touring with. And this is where you really dig into Deftones becoming more of a gent style band, where they're taking all these vocal effects into place. They're taking these guitar effects to place it into where you're feeling like you're in this separate realm from reality. They're trying to make you escape using just the sounds of the instruments and the sounds of the machines running through. Prayers, Triangles, it was a great opening to an album, and I believe was the first single. So as you can hear, it's really processed through this time around. We got a lot of delay into it. It's really, I wouldn't say it's pitched up, but you can tell there's something else there with the delay. But then it gets mixed with a nice distortion once the chorus comes around. here's where you hear more of the vocal patterns and effects from Chino's effect. We got a chorus mixed in, we got an echo effect mixed in, and I wouldn't say there's a flanger on this one, but some of them later on you can sense like a flanger being used into it. So this, as a single, I loved. This was when I was getting back into Deftones and this style of music. And I just thought like, oh man, this is reminding me a lot of like Saturday Night Wrists era. And this one, Doomed User, I loved because it made me feel like Diamond Eyes. This one felt like it was just ripped right from that and put on a later album. Like they let it mature for a little bit and put it on this. So you can hear how that distortion is making everything kind of like grainy, and I love it. It makes it, again, have that garage feel almost. If it wasn't for Chino layering his vocals as his being in like this echo chamber. And here you have the echo again, but it's clearer. Whereas in the chorus, it's like he steps away from the mic and is in this closed off environment. But everything else in this, I love. Geometric Headdress, another one that felt like an old classic. Apparently it's one of the not popular songs, it's unfortunate. I thought it really fits in. You get that feel like, almost like the self-titled Deftones album. So as Gore feels, I would call Gore like a homage almost to their past as well, but trying to throw in their new age feeling into it. Hearts and Wires. Sorry, I just heard that noise and I thought it was on the other side of my wall. That tripped up. This one, I could see why people are gonna like this off the album much more. It's soft until it builds. Ding, 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 ding. So it takes like a minute and a half to get actually into the real song itself. It's a lot of build up, but it's nice if you're going for that full album experience. If you're listening to this as just a single, sure, you're gonna want to like skip ahead and stuff like I just did, but I'm trying to show a little bit of what makes this song unique and exciting. Get that bit, and then we're gonna break it back down into a nice chorus here in a moment. Oh, I passed it. We hear Chino just can't get away from those vocal effects. He knows what he likes, and he's gonna stick with it. I actually really liked Xenon. Why is this not popular? People are sleeping on this. I don't think people just like the older style sounding. Just listen to that. You got the gain, you got the crunchiness of the distortion, and it helps lead into that twang that you get out of that last note. This is another one that feels more like either the self-titled or maybe White Pony? Until the chorus. Yeah, the chorus is actually really like it. But honestly, it's a great song. Gore, fantastic. And what I'm surprised also is, why is it not more popular? People keep skipping out on the good stuff. This is very, Diamond Eyes and how the guitar works with the bass. So that's Gore. Gore's great. Gore, I'm actually going to place an A. It's great for if you want to figure out what Deftones are nowadays. You're going to be hearing so many years of callbacks, but it all comes back together into, this is how we were before, but this is us now. We've matured. We found what works for us, or what we like to make. Which leaves us with our last album, Ohms. 2020, fantastic year. This one, a lot of us were going through, I got the 10 mixed up, I thought it said 2010. I was like, oh. Yeah, September, we were still in the midst of the epidemic, figuring out what things were going through. I know they wrote this album much earlier than what happens in 2020, but I don't know, I wasn't sure if I personally was ready for a Deftones album during that time. There was a lot of depression going around. There's a lot of figuring out where we as, you know, as the world, as a country are going. Yeah, this would have been right around nearly election time too, I believe. And so there was a lot writing around the time of this album. I guess I must have associated it with the negative emotions of everything else that was going on in the world, and that might be why I didn't give more of a shot, more of a listen in this one. I do remember liking where it was going though. So starting off with Genesis, the opener, we got that kind of electronic feeling, but it's gonna kind of like work into slowly. A lot like what they did on White Pony. But like you can, with how processed it is, you can tell like, okay, these guys, they're not pulling any stops. They're messing with whatever they have at their disposal. Any guitar pedal they can find, let's fuck with it. Any mode on your amp or on your any modes, fuck with them all. Let's do it. But you can hear that this just feels like the most mature they've gotten. They know what they are. Oh, that sounds really cool through the headphones. It's like it kept going behind me. Oh, that's trippy. Absolute fantastic opening. Error, I remember really liking. Turn that off. Spell of Mathematics. We get a nice slow drop in this. This one kind of feels like Gore a little more. Less like something new and more of, hey, this is what we made before. So you're most likely gonna like this since this is what we made before. So this one, it could be Gore. Gosh, what's the name of the album? The album before it, Core no Yoken. This feels like it could be on that as well. But you can hear this album kind of just, unfortunately, feels a little stale. Like, yes, they figured out what they want to be. This album just felt like it had a lot of just the same all the way through. And what I liked was, like, you know, when Deftones experiment with something new, when they take risks. And this album didn't really feel like there was that many risks. It was a lot of the same stuff. So unfortunately, maybe it wasn't just my negativity that attached to it. Maybe I think I was just craving something more experimental than a continuation of what it felt like the last two albums were. And that might be why I prefer, you know, Adrenaline, Diamond Eyes, White Pony, Around the Fur, is because there was a lot of experimentation at that time. This one here, I want to place these at like a tie, because this one really defines on your taste. But I guess if this is my own personal one, I'm gonna unfortunately place it behind Self-Titled. Whereas again, as said, I don't want just a continuation of what's going on here. It's nice that they found what works. It's nice that they are running process through all these different pedals, different modes, different sounds. But it doesn't feel as impactful if it's just the same thing over and over. So, this is what I'd call my tier list for Deftones albums. I guess I'll put this down here to make it more, you know, filled in. So, S tier, if you're going to start with Deftones, Diamond Eyes, that's my personal recommendation. If you want like a nice, cohesive run through of the whole album, first track to last track, that's going to be the first one I'd recommend. Excuse me. Second off, we have White Pony, which is meant to be replayed into each other. Oh, burpee right now. That one also has so many different genres that it's trying to blend with. They're figuring out what works. So you get a little bit of everything into it. You got the whole buffet. We have Adrenaline up next. Adrenaline, great starter album. You really figure out the core roots of what Deftones is at the time. You feel their upcoming. You feel like, this is the world that they're coming from. Then we got Gore. Gore is, we figured out what works for us. This is what we want Deftones to be known for. This is what we want our sound to be. This is what we enjoy making. We're going to go down to Saturday Night Wrists. That one, absolutely fantastic. Great if you're looking for a great album to just get high, like lose probably an hour of your life to just being high and jamming to music, eating snacks. Then we got Around the Fur. Around the Fur is a great album if you're like at a party or something like that and you want something aggressive but also something to possibly pick up chicks with. Possibly? That's going to be the one I'm going to go for. Then Koi no Yokan, if you're really into like the Deftones lore and seeing the evolution of them as writers, as musicians, this is going to be an album to go to. But as for a listening experience, it's going to be on, unfortunately, the lower tiers. Then we're going to get into Self-Titled. It didn't have a lot that made it stand out. It unfortunately suffers a lot with what Ohms suffers with, where they did a lot of one thing and less experimentation, which they were mostly known for, and it led to kind of a lackluster album. Then lastly, Ohms, same thing, experimenting with what they know. They know they like this sound, so unfortunately we're going to make each song have this sound, and it led to kind of a droning album experience. Deftones definitely would be a great metal band, alternative, shoegaze, whatever you call it, gent. They go all around. Will always recommend Deftones. Chino also is just an incredibly sweet guy from all the interviews I've seen. And I also know that they even have their own alcohol, which I hear is pretty good. I'm fortunately not a drinker, so maybe someday I'll try it out. I'll just have to not take my meds that kind of thing. But yeah, that's Deftones for you. If you have any other recommendations, shoot them my way. I'll give them a shot. Maybe I'll take a full-on listen and give you my full rankings. So let me know if you like this. Let me know if this is a good style, anything you might want to see change. Again, this is my first time. I'm just trying to see what works, what doesn't work. Yeah. Peace.